of Architecture, Universitas Islam Indonesia, and Department of Architecture, Fatih, Sultan Mehmet, Vakıf University. Today is Monday, 15th of March, 2021. It's 1 p.m. in Indonesia and maybe 9, if I'm not mistaken, 9 a.m. in Istanbul, Turkey. So hopefully all of us is well and get a better health today. And with us has already joined our distinguished speaker, Assistant Professor Dr. Hakki Ozkan. And Dr. Hakki will share the experience and Turkey perspective about the idea of architecture, spaces, and sustainability. And later on, there will be the second speaker of us from Indonesia. He's the practitioner, architect, and urban planner, Mr. Sibarani Sofian, MUDD, B.Sc, LEDF, and IAI. He will share to us about the Indonesian perspective of architecture, spaces, and sustainability too. He was the winner of the new capital city in Indonesia. Okay, as I stated before, my name is Ilya. Probably some of you haven't noticed yet. I'll be your host for this event from 1 p.m. or 9 a.m. to for 2 hours. In this semester, there are two joint studios running. First is the architectural design studio that we're joining right now. And then, okay, to start this session, I would like to invite Assistant Professor Dr. Hakki Ozkan to share the experience. Please, Dr. Hakki, the screen is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to all of you. Firstly, I try to sharing my screen. Okay, did I manage it? Can you see?
Yep, it's clear.
Okay. Before starting, I want to say my thanks to you, the University Islam of Indonesia, and our University Fatih Sultan Mehmet Vakıf University to invite me this event. Actually, it's really marvelous stuff, except from the coronavirus and pandemic times, to share our knowledge and try to combine a bond between two universities. Actually, this is why, first of all, I would like to say my thank you to invite me here. After that, today I'm going to present something about sustainability and what happened in Turkey about sustainability. By the way, except from my identity of academician, actually, I'm also a registered independent architect, a professional in Istanbul, in Turkey. So in the further phase of my presentation, I try to show you how an Turkey-based architect thinking about sustainability while designing his project. Actually, we are in our except from I'm talking about except from my academic title, we are about 10 people in Istanbul in our office, and we are really keen on participating some competitions and using our knowledge about sustainability. So I'm going to also explain our experience about designing that conceptual sustainability also. Okay, if I start. Okay, everything is okay. My connection is flawless.
Yes, Hocam.
Okay, great. Okay, first of all, I want to make very comprehensive framework of the sustainability by explaining its definitions. Actually, there are two references I would like to mention about, maybe to the all our other audiences. First of all, is limits of growth, a independent club actually, or from it's not a soccer club actually, happened in Rome actually. The Club of Rome is actually established in the 60s, 1960s, and a group of academicians, philosophers, and some people who's caring about environment, and they try to put a perspective to us to show how we consume our planet actually by doing some experiments, doing some trying to show us with some graphics, and it's actually very brilliant publication after that club established actually. It's called The Limits of Growth. I think if you are interested with this kind of topics like sustainability, ecology, or consuming or producing of the whole planet, especially after the industrial revolution, I strongly recommend you to investigate about this book. The second references actually is very related also with my academic studies, academic work, is United Nations Environment Program. This program has established also 1972 in Stockholm. Actually, it's establishing happened with a conference. It's called also 1972 Stockholm Environment Program Conference. This conference has actually very special place in sustainability because it is the first time with a very widely participating all countries registered to the United Nations could talk about sustainability, ecology, and the situation of the planet. Actually, this is why it's one of the milestone how the all the world trying to thinking about or maybe rethinking about sustainability in a very comprehensive perspective. This is why these two references is always one of my guides actually. Okay, then while we are talking about sustainability, if you Google it or if you try to search where it's come from, actually sustainability word or the concept is actually born with the whole humanity, all mankind, because it means to sustain something, you know. But we derive that as sustainable architecture or sustainable fashion, sustainable economy, sustainable development. But in the first time, it has mentioned in a regular, registered, and official document called Our Common Future. It's also happened after a conferences held by the World Commission, and the name of the conference is World Commission on Environment and Development. And the president of the commission is previous Prime Minister of Norwegian Grow Harlem Brundtland. So this outcome of the conference also called as Brundtland Report. When you check to the internet or other sources, you will find it's with its name Brundtland. Okay, it's also held in 1987, and the report defined actually sustainable development as its own word, development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Actually, this is very generative and very generic definition of sustainability we accepted as academicians. So while we are go to the other slide, you will also find actually that's all very basic and general informations about sustainability, but then you can really easily find the three branches of sustainability. Actually, in lots of studies and research, you can easily find that three branches while you're studying on sustainability. Because to sustain mankind or to sustain the planet, we need that three branches, and that's our social perspective, economical perspective, and environmental perspective. Without one of them, actually, you couldn't manage to sustain the whole planet and the whole mankind. This is why this three part is really strongly bound with the others, actually. Okay, that was actually my introducing how we define, how we mention about the sustainability in an academic way. But what happened in Turkey about this? While we are checking, I'm going to explain you three very common and well-known, famous example happened in Turkey. And then, if we have time, I'll try to explain my perspective, how I look to sustainability as an architect to design while designing a project, actually. Okay, one of the very well-known and very famous project, also it's called as a sustainable project, is Safir Tower. It's happened in Istanbul. Maybe if you visit Istanbul, you will heard about it, because it is for a long time the tallest building in Istanbul. Just a couple of years ago, another building has get this record from it. And its architect is Tabanlıoğlu. It's also a very well-known architecture office for a long time. Okay, while they are designing this project, actually, one of the important stuff is when you design a tower, a tall building in Istanbul, the main purpose is to get the vista, to get the scenery, actually. This is why it is very common to cover the towers in Istanbul with the glass facade. But the problem is Istanbul is actually getting every year by the global warming, getting much more warmer and hotter, especially in the summertime. This is why we are not recommend to the architects or designer to cover the whole facade with the glass, totally glass, actually, glass material. But in that project, architect tried to this advantage to its own advantage by designing two facades, actually, and we call it the double facade. And between that double facade, the two facades, they trying to organize some common spaces, and it's also with his word, architect's word, it's also just cause a regular neighborhood, actually, neighborhood shape, actually, by the same time. And also, even you are in the 30th floor or 40th floor, you can also planting something also. You can vegetate something also, and that two facade also has some opportunity to keep the building warm in the winter time and a little bit cooler in the summertime. That's, you can also check it in internet or its architect website also. Okay, the other is maybe it is the one of the first sustainable, I mean, big sustainable and famous project in Turkey. But nobody, not so many people knows about it actually. But its architect is Alejandro Zeropolo. In that time, while he designing that building, the office name is FOA, but then they split up, and I think he established a new office, but I don't know its exact name. It's a combination of initials. It's interesting, a weird name. Okay, this is in Anatolian side of Istanbul, the Asian part of Istanbul, and it's a shopping mall center. But it is when he designing that one, it's not so common to make an open shopping malls in Istanbul, because while we are talking about shopping malls, we are all have an image that you go inside a really big building and it's all indoor facilities, it's indoor spaces. But in the first time, he tried to one of his experiments here to make the shopping mall something like a public square. Actually, this is why also we call its name square shopping mall. Meydan means a square, a public square in Turkish. And why we call it sustainable? Actually, it's not because of its green roof, because maybe the less part, the less sustainable part is green roof, because people couldn't use it. This green roof's purpose is maybe just reflect the sunlight and provide some isolation, heat isolation for the spaces. But the main sustainability is about to gather the people together, especially in the weekends. We can call here something like a social sustainability, because normally it's not a regular.
Ini apa anjir? Musuh darah Prof. Man, kamu masih bisa lihat aku nggak?
Sorry. And also it is the one of the first project use the heat pump, using the soil energy for warming, for heating the whole spaces. Actually, this is why it's called sustainability also. Okay, the other and maybe the last example of famous project in Istanbul especially is Küçükçekmece municipality building. It's a municipality building. It's an office building. Küçükçekmece is one of the districts in Istanbul. And Mimar architecture is its architects. They are the architects. And also we call it the first sustainable governing building in Istanbul, also maybe in Turkey, I don't know. Its aim, while the architect designing this one, he trying to lots of passive systems by putting some double facade to control the sun shading, the green roof you can see here, and I know there are lots of active systems also. Maybe after me the other representative going to explain something about maybe lead or other stuff. I have just checked while I'm checking the poster. there is also a title about the lead or something else. It's one of that project we are thinking about, one of the famous in Istanbul. Okay, actually this tree project is famous, and it seems really sustainable by just checking its a green roof or double facade or other stuff. But when we go back again, sustainability has actually always, should actually always three branches to sustain the social perspective and economic perspective also, apart from the environment perspective. Actually, as a group of architects, we call ourselves COFACT architects. We are trying to use that three branches in our projects, in our experiment. Actually, there are also a very good platform to practice our experiences is always about competitions, actually, in national or international competitions, sometimes invited competitions. Okay, I'm going to right now explain about our perspective on sustainability. While we are thinking about it, always we try to find, according to project, according to demanding project, what kind of a branches of that scheme, that diagram, we can implement the design. And while we're thinking about it, there are some concepts we have found, and we call them flexibility, modularity, economic development, publicity, bioclimated design, where nuclearity is one of important that we interest so much, and energy efficiency maybe the last one. When you make your project flexible, while you're designing flexible, then its lifetime goes longer actually, because it can turn into something else. So it can sustain itself with the new situations, maybe according to the seasons, maybe according to the political situations, or even the function can be changed. This is why flexibility is important for us. And modularity is also very important because it's directly interesting with prices, estimated costs, and about the producing. And also economic development is one of the important part, because any project cannot manage to be economic. It couldn't sustain forever. That kind of concepts actually we are always thinking about while we're designing projects. Okay, for each title I have some examples. Actually, I have 8 or 9 examples, but the moderators can stop me. Maybe I can explain 2 or 3 of them. Okay, for actually, I sorry about not to translate all the readings, all the text in English, because it's going to be really huge effort for me. I'm sorry about it, but I'm trying to explain the main idea of the project. Okay, while we are thinking about the flexibility, we got here a competition project, and its topic is about designing a caretta turtle hospital actually, and a visitor center, something else. In Turkey, in the south part of the Turkey, there is a really famous beach that all that caretta turtles can bring their eggs into the sands of the beach, and it's under the protection of the government. And in that beach, actually, there are also something like a very old hospital for them to rehabbing their wounds or experiments or researching something about that character turtles actually. And the topic of the competition is designing a new and a sustainable hospital and visitor center for that character turtles. But the main challenge is the place, the area that it was given is between a hill and the beach side. It says something like a really interesting ecosystem part. And we think about that if we have something like a junction area, that there is really a straight line to cut the three different ecosystem. So we said that in that design, okay, in the hill part, we're going to put the hospital with its all restricted areas. You cannot change actually because it's an hospital. But on the beach side, there is something like a visitor center, and it should founded on the sand on the beach. And because of the seasons, because of the time of using the beach, it should have transformed, because summer is very crowded in that area, especially some people also come here for the tourism to use the sea and the sand and the sun. But in the winter time, some activists is coming here for making some events about the tortoise actually. And our proposal is about proposing a very flexible visitor center. And the hospital's main material is stone. Actually, it's also coming from the very close stone quill. And in the beach side, we are using very light material as a structure and all cladding as wooden material. And that wooden material is actually very flexible. It can change, transform, move the whole panel walls, and change according to the season, according to the usage capacity. Especially in winter, it's getting much more compact because there are less people visit the facilities. But in summertime, it can extend it with its different functions. It gives that opportunity and make its lifetime much more sustained. Actually, this is the main theme, main idea of the project. Okay, the other topic we are also thinking about so much about modularity, because we believe that it comes from the manufacturing, producing the materials, and it's also very strongly related with economical development. One of the important points that we always thinking about. Here is a kindergarten project that also we designed for the Istanbul municipality, and we are still negotiate about the project to fulfill, to build it in a different district of the different region of Istanbul. And sometimes from the other cities municipality comes some invitation to build that idea in their cities also. Actually, the main demanding question problem is like that. The municipality wants us to design a kindergarten, but the problem is they're going to build it in a maybe hundreds of times in a different region of the Istanbul. So the problem is, okay, it's going to be something like a prototype kindergarten, but in each region has different needing, actually. Some region has lots of people want to bring their children or babies to the kindergarten, but some district has not so much they don't need to so many capacity for the kindergarten, because when you also make very large kindergarten in a very for a very small group, then it's also it couldn't sustain its own lifetime, because then they're going to turn it something else, or their expenses coming from the managing the whole building getting so large, and also not going to be sustainability. So we try to found actually the idea to make it modular, and for each space in the kindergarten, we try to create something like a container mind, modular, steel structured boxes. And these boxes can come together according to the demanding size of and demanding capacity of the kindergarten in different regions. And then we established some examples. There are 3 examples of all different capacities kindergartens. Okay. One of the important concept that also we are talking about. I'm also checking my time. I think it can be the last example I can explain. Then if you wonder about our practice, also you can follow our website or Instagram accounts. For the economic development, actually, 1 year ago we have invited competition in Libya, in Tripoli, to make the first indoor garage, indoor car parking building in Tripoli, actually, especially in the whole Libya. And the problem was they just asked us to create a garage building, a car parking building, and something like maybe a corner of the building can be used as an office or other stuff to gain much more money by renting or selling some office spaces. So we think about it's not so logic to build in the center of the Tripoli, in the center of something like an indoor garage, because it has no relation between the people and relation between the gaining some money, actually, because it's just a garage, you know. But the exciting point is this project